So do you guys remember the time back in 2001 when we first got the first movie of the Fast and the Furious movies? And we didn't even know it was going to become a big franchise. It was just this one solo film. And then after now 18 years, 9 different films, the whole entire thing has just shifted itself into a completely different world. And to be honest with you, I actually miss the world of the Fast and Furious movies from what we remember of the first film compared to what we're getting this wannabe MCU version of the franchise. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, the first spin-off to the Fast and Furious franchise. But if you ask me, I think it's pretty much its third spin-off. If you remember Too Fast, Too Furious with Paul Walker and Tyrese, I think that was a little bit of a spin-off away from what we remember of this current now franchise. And then there's the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, which is a story that's set away from our original characters and story arc, but yet it still has a really good connection to what we all know. So that's kind of a spin-off there as well. So now we got Hobbs and Shaw. This is the 9th film in the Fast and Furious franchise set of films. It's the 9th film. Wow. 18 years and already, I mean, it's almost 20 years now and nine films. I mean, like I said earlier, I could not believe the fact that, you know, not only even having 1 or 2 or 3 of these movies, but having to growing, extending itself, and, you know, bringing back our old characters and inviting new ones after each and every single individual film. It just expanded itself into a larger universe. Now, I'm not a huge Fast and Furious fan, but I still watch the films. I still think that they're entertaining. My least favorite one, I'd have to say, would be Fast and Furious 6. You know, not a really good title, and the story is not really as interesting as I really would have wanted it to be. And plus the fact, if you were to just take that out of the equation, in which cases you could see that it's not as highly important as most of these other films. As a matter of fact, all of these films are not that important, but it's still a great set of films to watch. Now, when it comes to Hobbs and Shaw, this one is pretty much its own film based off of one of the really great pluses that we got from the recent Fast and Furious film, The Fate and the Furious, when you get Hobbs and Shaw just, you know, clashing against each other, you know, mouthing each other's, you know, words and, you know, just, you know, threatening things to each other. And that was a really great, some great moments that were part of that film that gave it a huge plus. I had a lot of fun with that. But was it enough to, you know, giving it itself its own movie? To be honest with you, I'd have to say, yeah, it was great seeing them together in their own film. I'm loving how they just mouth each other off, and they're always, you know, measuring each other's dicks, you know, just seeing, you know, who's the bigger, who's the better big shot here. And I don't know, I think that they're both really cool. And but when it comes to the story, I think the story is cheap. I don't like it. It's far away from the, you know, the Fast and the Furious franchise. You know, it's like it's continuing to grow and more, making this even bigger than anticipating it to be. Because a lot of people keep on saying, I'm pretty sure the next Fast and the Furious movie is going to take place going into outer space or something. I mean, they did it for X-Men, with Dark Phoenix. We've never been into space before, but yet, they went to space in this last movie, so who knows? We might be seeing Vin Diesel and everybody else coming back, Dwayne Johnson, and just shooting up into space. Street racing, I don't know, space racing, I don't know. I actually miss the whole street racing genre of this franchise. I really miss that a lot. I think that's what really brought a lot of attention to these films. And in which cases they try to include them into these movies just to say for the fact that, oh yeah, that's right, we're pretty much based off of the speed racing, and we're just gonna go and throw it in there just to make it still a part of it. But in which case it really has no effect with the movie, has no effect with the plot, nothing, has nothing to do with our characters. It's just a simple little sequence that takes an effect within these movies and then cuts off, and then we move forward. So I really do wish that we would get, if we were to get a Fast and the Furious film, I wanted something based off of, more down to earth. I want something that's like an everyday life, something that would take an effect. And in these movies, man, it's like they're, instead of being more dramatizing and more action, it's more sci-fi-ish. Like, take for example, within this movie, it's dealing with a virus. It's like a virus. It feels a little too Mission Impossible 2, and it's injected into one of our main characters, which is played by Vanessa Kirby, who happens to be the sister to Jason Statham's character, Shaw. And Vanessa Kirby, I think that she is really great. I mean, I actually did love her in this movie. She was, I was convinced to feel that, yeah, she is, Shaw's sister, and I saw her last year in Mission Impossible Fallout, and I thought she was great in that movie too. So, it's exciting getting to seeing somebody who's very talented in the world of acting, and so I think that she was a great, huge plus. They didn't really give her a lot in this movie, only the fact of the case is, of course, yes, she's infected with the virus, but but then that's it. Once when the virus is no longer taking an effect, she really has no more significant importance to the film. Now, this is where it gets a little too much. When I saw the trailers to this movie, even just the first one, we get the introduction to Idris Elba, who is the villain of the story. And what? His name is Bad Guy. Wow, very original. And he calls himself the Black Superman. And I'm like, oh my god, man, this is a little too much. I mean, I know that they try to pick up the stakes, going to another level within each and every single movie here, but I think that's a little too much. Yeah, I mean, they show in several sequences where he's getting updated. He's getting some new upgrades, and you can just see his back just wide open, and he's very much more bionic. He's kind of like Darth Vader, but not as awesome as Darth Vader. He's just part man, part machine, and I don't really like that where you get and you see it in the movie where he gets a visualization of like as if he's a computer. He's saying activate this or terminate this, things like that. And I see that, I was like, it's a little too Terminator or too Iron Man or too, RoboCop or something. It's like, this is a human being here, and I don't know. I just feel like that's a little too sci-fi for me, and I feel like that these movies should be more of a dramatization of a set of films rather than having it being too. It's like how they do it with Terminator. Terminator started off as a kind of horror franchise, and then the second one brought it to where it became this action thriller type of film, and then it was so successful that they continued to try to making it the next big thing, but unfortunately they just stayed where they were at and never moved forward, and that's what they're doing here as well. So I mean, there's so many great, huge, big ideas as to how we can advance with these movies, but when I go and watch them, it's horrible to watch because I mean, I can literally get bored. I mean, if there's just so much brought into these movies that feel highly impossible, it pulls me out of the film. I don't feel as, you know, that attached to it. I don't feel the importance to all these characters. I mean, like I said, Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham being in this movie, their chemistry and how much they hate each other, how much they throw all these threatening comments to one another, that's a huge plus. I love that, and it's great that they make this part of the film, but I think it's a little bit too much here. I mean, I know that they have a certain plot to the whole thing. You know, it's them at the beginning where they don't get along with each other, and then it just comes to where they grow, they shift, they conversate, they find a way on where they connect, where they can click. And by the time you know it, at the ending of the film, they start working together. They find a way on how, you know, they can actually, you know, be on the same level rather than having to find out who's the big guy. So I like that. That was really great. Helen Mirren is in this too. I think that she's a phenomenal actress. I always think that she's always fun to watch. I mean, when I saw her in The Fate of the Furious, and she was in there too, I mean, I'm like, okay. I mean, she has no really part of the story, but I think that she was just very much more of a foreshadowing character to this current film, Hobbs and Shaw. So, and I thought it was great getting to see her. She has a very, very minor role. She's only in this maybe 2-3 scenes at the most, but other than that, she's a really great addition to the franchise. And having another addition to this franchise, oh my god. When he popped up, I'm like, no, you gotta be joking me. Ryan Reynolds, what? As soon as I heard his voice, and before he even popped up on the screen, I'm like, that's Deadpool. Oh my god, you are not bringing Deadpool into this. And who do we get? He may play an ordinary character who brings in Hobbs into this mission of, you know, getting the virus and all that stuff. But the thing is, once he approaches himself, he's being Ryan Reynolds. He's being Deadpool. And I'm like, oh my god, is there any other different character that you can be? I mean, you were even Deadpool in Detective Pikachu. So I'm just like, and I don't have a problem with it. I love that. The way and how he performs himself into being that actor, because that is who he is. But when it comes to acting, you know, you have to have the capability of being what they would call a chameleon, which is you can be anyone that you possibly can be. All these different sorts of characters, and you know, into where you are highly unrecognizable. But when you see Ryan Reynolds and you hear his voice, right away you know who that is. So I like actors whom are called chameleons, and I think that Ryan Reynolds could have the capability of going into that stage, but I feel like he needs a lot more work. I mean, a lot of people are very fascinated with how the way that he acts in these movies. I don't have a problem with it, don't get me wrong. I just feel like maybe we should see something more, something different. I'm not a fan of Dwayne Johnson. You know, I see him in so many movies. He's like, I mean, he's a busy man. I mean, he works out a lot and everything. The guy's great and everything like that, but I'm just like, I'm exhausted by him. I am exhausted. I mean, he's like pretty much in the theaters 24/7 with different sets of movies that he acts in. You know, he's big, he's huge in Hollywood right now. I get it. So is Jason Statham. You know, they're both in a lot of things right now, and they're the ones that make money. They're the big stars. They are what bring audiences into the theaters, which I understand. But you know, it's just like, you guys got to come up with something different here. You guys got to come up with something unique, something that gets audiences and critics out there to say, you know what? I didn't even think of that. That's awesome. I love it. Brilliant. And this one is highly off the clocks here. You know, they have this big, massive fight against one another. You know, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, and versus the bad guy Idris Elba in this on this Samoa island where Dwayne Johnson's family's from. This is what this movie's trying to get itself into being is it's all about family. It's all about family. Because you got this situation with Jason Statham and having to visit his mother, Helen Mirren, who's in jail, and the mother wants for her son to be reacquainted with her sister to, you know, build up that brother-sister relationship with each other, and just to being this one huge family. And then Dwayne Johnson's having the same issue as well. You know, he has a past. He left, and now he's isolated from his homeland, and now he has to come back because he has no other different alternative. He is given the ultimatum of as to what he's gonna do, because if he doesn't do anything about the situation, then the whole world is at stake. So, and he has a daughter, and the daughter, you know, she has no familiarity with her from where she came from, and you know, and they happen to reveal all that towards the ending, and I see what these movies are trying to do, that they're trying to have different levels, different strategies as to what family's all about, and I see that in this movie. I really do. But did it capture it? Not as much. I mean, you can recognize it, but it's not enough to where it's acceptable. And there's one more thing to this movie that it's a little off to me, and it's kind of obvious, but they yet don't reveal it at all. It's pretty much something that's going to be part of a possible sequel, either to the spin-off of Hobbs and Shaw, or it's going to be part of the Fast and Furious franchise. Apparently, Hobbs has a past and is involved with somebody who's seeking revenge off of him. And it's this hidden voice character who happens to be the boss of Idris Elba's bad guy character. But it's the voice is so fuzzy, it's very deep, it's very dark, but there's sometimes where it clears off, and I mean, I could be wrong. This is just me speculating, but I highly believe it could be Ryan Reynolds' voice, because like I said, he's highly recognizable with his voice. You hear it, you know who it is. And there were several seconds that are thrown in there where you know that that's him. And because Ryan Reynolds, he always I love the interactions between the two, and he's always saying like he's a part of their family. He's, you know, they have they're like bros and everything. And Dwayne Johnson Hobbs is like, no, we're not. And I love that, and I think that something like that is what causes Ryan Reynolds to be this villain and seeking revenge, and wants to be part of this family. So I'm thinking that that's what it is. Like I said, I could be wrong. It's just me speculating on it, but I'm really fascinated with the idea and looking forward to seeing what's in store for that with that storyline. But let's see what happens, you guys. So other than that, you guys, that's my review for Hobbs and Shaw. What did you guys think? Did you guys check it out in theaters? If not, go ahead and do so. I believe it's coming out already on digital, Blu-ray, and DVD. Once it is, just go ahead and grab yourself a copy, check it out, and then look at my video. Tell me what you guys think. If you have any other further questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, go ahead and leave that in the comments section at the bottom and let me know what you guys think, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos on YouTube and on Facebook. Just check me out at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button. It's highly appreciative of you guys having to help me out with that. I really do appreciate it very much. Before I finish, I forgot that Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 67%. And for me, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. It's entertaining, but there's some parts of it that really drew me off. It's very there's some sequences that are a little boring to me, and so I gave the movie a good 41%. It's still, you know, it's an acceptable level, but it's to where, you know, it's to where I could only watch it once and not really watch it again. I really wouldn't care for watching it unless if I'm watching the whole set of all 9 of these movies all together back to back. So, but other than that, you guys, 41%. Do you guys have a percentage towards that? Let me know as well. So, I'm Awesome Joe. Keep on living the dream, and as always, Stay awesome. Thank you guys once more again, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.